Is my idea of success really my own? Lifebook repeatedly poses this question as you're guided to be the author of your best life, to realize you can have it all without sacrifice or compromise. Passion, curiosity, and 6 weeks is all you need to totally transform. You even get your $500 back. Bold claims indeed. Can Lifebook live up to these expectations? Was it worthy of my attention? Let's find out as we walk through my experience as a non-sponsored May 2019 participant. Welcome! Before we get started, allow me to outline a few key points. Firstly, this video review serves as a short and snappy summary and is complemented by an in-depth review on my blog. Review timestamps and links to the blog can be found in the description below. The bottom line is that Lifebook challenges you to examine 4 questions across 12 life categories. What do you believe? What do you want? Why do you want it? How will you do it? Secondly, Lifebook is run through the education platform Mindvalley. I don't know much about Mindvalley other than I was drawn to the founders' humanity plus, humanity minus concept. Lastly, if you're on the fence about Lifebook, I'm not doing this to make your decision. That's firmly on you. I'm just informing my observations, thoughts, and interpretations. This is the Lifebook promise in a nutshell. You provide the dream and Lifebook provides the framework. So how did we review the framework? Well, myself and 2 others completed the Lifebook together. Afterwards, we sat down and openly tabled our gripes and gratitude, and this is what we uncovered. Subjective means, did we like it? And to my surprise, we were all closely aligned. Here are some chat highlights.
Lifebook makes it okay to have a formalised approach to planning your life out. It wasn't as in-depth as I wanted it to be, is where I thought there was room for improvement.
And that's based on immaculate production quality. They have delivered everything they said they would.
And probably a lot of people might do naturally, 4 categories, but they probably don't do it in the detail that they're asking you to do. I think a lot of people do things and they don't know necessarily who, what, why, when, how.
Objective refers to examining the pieces one at a time and building up to a score. It should be prone to less bias. Let's start with the selection process. Do you want to part ways with $500? We all agree that the website's clunky and it felt like watching a shopping network channel at 3 a.m. What kept us interested was the simplicity and relatability of the 12 categories, and of course the refund. So what about the experience? What was it like to sit through 6 hours of videos for 6 weeks? Here are some quotes I found interesting.
The videos are better quality than some movies.
John's a great presenter.
Yes. I wouldn't say he's 100% engaging, but he's not disengaging. If anything, he was right in the middle because it was did you find him almost lulling?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that's the perfect description for...
Like it was very calm and peaceful.
He's selling himself as this authentic guy that's got life figured out, so why are you putting on a persona?
Yeah, and when I saw the coaching videos, I'm like, this guy's a massive tool.
I really enjoyed Alex. I wish he had more input. Otherwise, they were boring to watch. They rambled. They didn't answer the question. Their vibe is weird.
Yep.
They got me super excited in the health fitness coaching about metabolic type. So I followed the link. It's to Dr. Oz.
Oh. I like the story about the dad. That was a nice story. Being a starving artist and then starting the business.
In the end, I'm looking at it as a free program, and even having an app in the first place for something free is
True.
more than what you should expect.
Yeah. In some of the videos, he made great points straight out of the gate. And you're like, great, what are we moving on to next? No, you didn't move on.
We end with what happens when it's over. All of us took issue with the upsell bombard during the final 2 weeks, which demonstrated to us a lack of transparency and sincerity, given it was not clear that other Lifebook products existed. Having said that, we also agreed that Lifebook delivered everything it said it would. I wouldn't say this is a positive though, as it heavily relied on wordsmithing. An example are the coaching calls, which were described as live, yet were pre-recorded. Many in the Facebook tribe openly complained about this, and I noticed the latest version of the website has tidied this up to state that live calls run in January and July only. Is it a coincidence that this overlaps with the largest pool of participants ever at 7,000? So we've reviewed the Lifebook, and many would refer to the score as a success. So does this mean that I would recommend the Lifebook? I think this best sums up where I'm at.
I would recommend it, but I would give people the heads up.
Okay, so buyer beware.
Yes.
And what do I mean by buyer beware? Well, there's the depth or lack of. The beauty of Lifebook is the simplicity. But this also means that enough information can be found on the website for free to start your own Lifebook adventure. I can't stress enough, it's just 12 categories and 4 questions. The refund process is so bad we considered giving it negative points. Firstly, it's a ClickFunnels experience that is difficult to navigate, confusing, and when you reach the end, you have to apply twice. The one that counts, though, doesn't even send you a notification, so you're left sitting in the dark wondering if you'll even get your money back. And this experience was shared by many in the community. To top it off, the hosts have also issued conflicting information about the criteria to even apply for the refund. The whole thing's a mess. It's probably also worthwhile noting I lost about 5% of my refund due to foreign exchange fees. Look, there's nothing to do with Mindvalley or Lifebook, but it's something that I didn't take into account and I think you should know. Credibility also needs to be discussed. Who the f*** is John Butcher? Literally all we know is that his dad started Precious Moments, a company that turns over hundreds of millions a year, but John's involvement is murky, where more is implied than actually told, and I really don't understand how in today's world someone can have such a limited online footprint. There's literally nothing about this guy, yet somehow he's started over 20 companies. I'm not sure what this actually means, but it's not adding up. Then there is the upsell. None of this was clear when we started. Jeez, it became clear in the last few weeks. Lifebook's a funneling process designed to keep your $500 and then preposition you to join the $97 monthly club. I found this disappointing, and I still do. I wasn't even aware these products were available when we started. My interpretation was that John had been running Lifebook in person for years and now wanted to take a step back, migrate to an online platform to leverage a much larger goal. And that is to transform the lives of 1 million people, which is how I also concluded that the refund was not a scam. This leads us to the final item, testimonials. There are 2 things you must know. 1, at the end of Lifebook, a competition was held to make a public Facebook post outlining your experience. What you may not realize is that the winner received an all expenses paid flight to Hawaii to meet John and Missy. Adding to my disappointment, views on the public post count towards the 1 million people target. Wordsmithing at its finest. 2, Lifebook now runs an affiliate program, which I will pessimistically call a pyramid scheme. The last I checked, if you signed someone up for Mastery Upsell, you received a sweet $150. When you think about 7,000 people and a couple converts, not bad, right? This also begs the question, can you trust anyone that says Lifebook is awesome? I also want to share a few items which bothered me but may or may not apply to you. I have concerns that as simple as the Lifebook is in concept, it's actually very complex and painful to do from scratch. The setup spoon feeds you content so you can skip the painful stage, but I feel this actually tethers you to John, that it gives you a false sense of security you can do it on your own, and when you factor in the monthly membership, I have to wonder if this is by design. I know this because I've been working on redoing my Lifebook from scratch, and this has really highlighted to me how much I was influenced by the content. Your mileage may vary. Lastly, value. $500 buys you a lot of stuff or a lot of self-development books. Let's compare the cost of Lifebook to the top sellers you can buy from Amazon for each category. The scales favor one side pretty clearly to me. Okay, in conclusion, I enjoyed the Lifebook process and was surprised how I felt when it was over. It was only then I realised it was quite routine for me to sit down each week and listen to John. Since the dust has settled, I've really reflected on what I learnt, and whilst I believe in the process of deeply understanding those 12 categories, I don't believe you need to go through Lifebook to start doing it yourself. For that reason, I wouldn't recommend Lifebook. Unless you're someone who is new to self-discovery or are in a bad place and are seeking more guidance. There's nothing wrong with that, but it also means that in general you're more vulnerable to the buyer beware items I described earlier. Thanks for listening, good luck with your decision, and I'll leave you with a snippet comparing Lifebook to Timeshare. Bye.
But it's like a timeshare. The gift that keeps giving.
I don't know if you know what timeshare is.
Oh, okay.
Oh, those holiday homes where you...
Yeah.
Oh,
Is there another definition? Or?
okay, so when we were in Hawaii for a honeymoon, we decided to do like a tour, and they said to us, you can get your tour heavily discounted, like half price. All you got to do is go to this timeshare meeting. It runs for half an hour and it's at the location. I'm like, yeah. Sign us up.
And you don't have to buy anything. You just have to go there and listen and, whatever, and then you get the discount.
Yeah.
So, but that sounds great, yeah.
They've got all the power because you don't get the refund coupon until you've sat through.
The half an hour, they said?
No.
Yeah, the session. So you go there for your half an hour. They keep you waiting for a while. So you're already they keep you waiting for the half an hour. Then you meet the guy, and me, it was just. I've never experienced anything like it. This guy tried to hard sell us for 5-10 minutes. We said no, we're not interested. We want to go. Then they said, that's okay.
Just see this person
for
whatever reason.
That's the next closer. Then this guy's trying to sell you. Then you go to the third guy. We're there for 2 hours.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let us leave. Yeah. We could have left at any time, but we wouldn't have got the money.
And we already wasted our time going there. We ended up being there for 2 to 3 hours to save probably $100. It was not worth it in the end.
And it's why would you leave if you've committed the 1 hour and a half?
They know this though. It's by design.
Yeah.
It's by design.
And that's why we say Lifebook is like that, because the exit process is exactly the same. You can't leave.